Welcome back to the Tailosive EV podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Record deliveries for Q4. We've done it. Million vehicles 2021. I think it's happening. Do you agree, disagree? Tell me why you think I'm wrong.
It's your face, really, that tells me that you're wrong, Drew.
It's your
I
outfit.
can't be wrong. Look at this suit.
It's your outfit that tells me you're wrong.
Wow, we're just so fancy.
I'm ready for the earnings report. I'm ready. I can't wait to hear more about Cybertruck updates, semi-production, what the heck's going on with the 4680s. I'm ready.
You were invited to the shareholder meeting, weren't you, Drew? That's why you're all dressed up.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
I don't know
Looks
what
like
you're
It's all
doing
online,
here
but
with
I
us.
was invited.
Yeah. Yeah. A million? You think a million?
They surpassed expectations in Q1. They delivered more vehicles in the first quarter than in the fourth quarter of last year, which is normally a peak quarter. And this one didn't even count the S and X refresh. And we're getting 2 more gigafactories coming online this year. If they're hitting 185,000 vehicles delivered in the first quarter with 2 factories, what's quarter 4 going to be with 4?
I think
it's going to be not having Cybertruck.
Until
I
they have the
agree there.
Cybertruck, they're not going to hit a million. I would say between 800 and 900,000 for the end of the year would be my official professional estimate. And you can trust me because I'm a guy on the internet.
And you got that pimp ring on.
I don't think the Cybertruck is crucial because it's going to be very limited production for its probably first quarter. So
I saw your
even
spoof on that. Your
my spoof.
your spoof. It's funny that you acknowledge that if you just date back a little bit on you're kind of contradicting yourself because you're realizing, oh, it's not about the paintless job. That's not the holdup is all about efficiency with battery.
It's batteries.
Batteries. I hope.
But I did also say on the record, I believed it was possible for Cybertruck deliveries to be this year if that was what Gigatex has prioritized. Now that they have openly confirmed that's not its priority, then I don't believe that
Is
anymore.
Cybertruck a priority for them at all? Genuinely? Or is it more of this
Yes.
rolling out these mass numbers of why? Like, why is forget the other 3 of the sexy lineup. It's why at this point. It's just why.
Why?
It's probably because manufacturing-wise and profitability-wise, it's the most proven. I had this exact conversation with Mike a while back. We just FaceTimed for a little bit, and I was like, I wish Texas could have just gone all in on the Cybertruck. I would have been so much more happy if they were like, okay, we got Model Y production in Fremont, but now we've got like a crap ton of orders for the truck. Let's just build a whole factory with that's its main focus. Sure, down the line it can make some other stuff, but first thing Texas is to work on every steel beam, every layer of concrete is, does this get us closer to Cybertruck production or not? And instead they went with Model Y, and Model Y Mike, of course, his main argument was it's been built. They have sold them. They know how profitable they are to make. It's not experimental anymore. They're doing it in Shanghai now. They're going to do it in Berlin in a couple months. They're doing it in Fremont. It's down to a science. It's way more ironed out than the Model 3 with the rear underbody casting press, and they've minimized parts. And there's a lot of evidence to suggest the Y is cheaper to build than the 3. So even if it's more expensive than the 3, it's like substantially healthier profit margins than the 3. And because of that, they don't want to risk it. They just want to play it safe and be like, okay, if we're going to do 4680s and we're going to start a new factory, best start off with a Y because we know how profitable it is. We know how safe that line is. Whereas Cybertruck is still untested.
I
we're
agree
kind
with
of
all
unsure
that.
how.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But it's still annoying.
Yeah.
It still annoys me.
I agree with the logic behind it, but I disagree with what is happening because we need the Cybertruck yesterday, folks. And anything.
Did you catch the Tasmanian report about the pilot line?
No, I didn't.
Wait, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so there were some sources, could be fake, could be real, but there were sources claiming
Hopefully
that
only reliable sources.
they're working on Cybertruck, a pilot production line at Fremont so that all the employees can be trained and experienced to move to Texas. The rumor was this June, that by June they would all be moving out there to start production and that deliveries would be by the end of this year. And I was like, that all sounds great, but it doesn't address the main bottleneck, which is the battery production, which is already confusing. Even if you ignore the Cybertruck, we can't quite figure out how Cato Road is supposed to build batteries for Berlin, Plaid Plus, and Texas, and Semi at the same time. It's like, it's
Don't
a
you think
mystery
all
at
that
this
is
point.
going to go to Giga Nevada after they figure it out?
Not all of it. I don't think
Giga
Tesla's
Nevada is
gonna
only
ever...
like a third full at this point, right? Like,
Right, but the problem is they haven't been able to expand it to the size they want because no one wants to move out there and they can't get enough people, and like they just don't have the manpower really to scale Nevada as much as they want. Though Panasonic did say that they do want to start 4680 production there, I think this month, probably taking a lot of what they've learned from Cato Road, but either way, it's going to be limited, and that's, like Elon said, that this year is all about battery limitations, which is, I think, the main Cybertruck issue. Figuring out the exoskeleton and all that is, I think, relatively trivial, but just the fact that Model Y is the main priority of Texas, to me, is like, there's no way.
yeah.
No way it can come out this year. But I'd love to be wrong. I would love it.
Maybe they'll give one to like Jay Leno and a few other like celebrities.
I am so for limited production at the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
I am totally fine with that. Like, just let YouTubers or influencers be your free marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Contact some big ones, whether it be your Andy Slies or your MKBHDs
Or your Talos of EV.
or Talos of EV, of course. And just with that pilot production line in Fremont, just make a batch. Just
Yep.
make like 10
100.
Cybertrucks.
Oh,
Use
okay,
or
10.
100. Or just borrow some 4680s from Cato Road, right there. Just be like, this won't be a big deal. Just make sure the batteries are working, and then just deliver them to a few people and say bulk production next year. But here they are. They're out. They're driving around. Oh, that would be so much
cool.
cooler.
It's
I
too
wish.
simple. It's too simple. Yeah, that was too clean of a presentation. It's not going to work.
Do you think they're still figuring out the final design of it? Like, they haven't
The
shared
Cybertruck?
any like official. Yeah,
I
they
think
haven't
they're
shared
done.
any updates.
Elon said they did on the last call, I believe.
Well, yeah, but we haven't seen it yet, and until they
Right.
talk about it
They keep-
publicly, they
We're
could still
not
be
worthy.
changing things.
They
Oh,
could-
you're
they
not
could've
worthy, Randy.
changed
I am
something.
worthy. I am the guy with the jacket here. I'm worthy.
I respectfully disagree. I think at the earnings
Drew is
call
in
they
a tux.
mentioned that the Cybertruck design is finalized. It's just a
Okay.
matter of ordering all the equipment, and we've seen the rumors, not the rumors, but the confirmations from several brands that manufacture the die casting machines that, like, we've got the presses and they're working on installing it at Texas. So I think the design is final. They just probably are asking Elon not to tweet out a random photo from R&D, which is probably what I would want. I would want Elon to just run in there and be like, all right, that's it. Hey guys, look.
Just
Look at my
goes on
car.
Twitter Live for like 10 minutes.
Oh my god!
Oh my god. Oh man, I really wish Elon would do Twitter live streams.
Can you imagine?
Look at this truck. You want to throw the ball, Franz? Not too hard now. Okay. But
Oh
no,
my
they
freaking
they
God.
said the design's final. They just keep pushing off the update reveal or something. And I bet there's chairmen of the board at Tesla that are like, "Yeah, let's do it formally, okay, Elon. We don't want you to
No
just
broken
do
windows
it
this
unofficial.
time."
Yeah, let's not. They probably want to do it on like an earnings call or something, like a investor relations thing where they're like, also, here's a new Cybertruck coming later. Kind of like we didn't see the Model S refresh until the last earnings call. That was when they dropped the interior design and people were tweeting it out. It was like, oh, this was in the investor relations page. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. So that was kind of how they wanted to do a big update type thing. And the Cybertruck clearly has a lot of attention. So my guess is that's how they would do it. Hopefully at this next earnings report, that would be awesome.
I feel like this would be different though, because Model S, it's just a redesign of something that's already out. This is a brand new product coming out, and I feel like people know how much hype it is. It should merit its own Tesla YouTube channel promo video. Like, I feel like something grand. The way they revealed it to us on stage back in November, they should do now some type of, not live stream, but some type of reveal again of the final with official promo
Just
videos.
redo the entire original unveiling and pretend like
No. I
the
wouldn't
other
mind
one
that
didn't
at all.
happen.
I'm with you that I would love it if they did that, but I disagree. I think it's very similar to the Model S thing. It's already out and they're refining it. Cybertruck design is already known. They're just refining it a bit for production.
But it's not
so that
real yet. It's not real yet.
says the guy who touched it.
This
I
is true.
touched the very first prototype, but I did not touch production model. And honestly, wait, we talked about this before. I swear we did. I just want to give me another. You teased a CGI version of it once before. Tease like the real thing. Like just show me a weird angle where we're trying to decrypt it, and it's like just show me something, but maybe not even from Elon, from Twitter or from Tesla themselves. Like tweet it. Just some
They've
type
been
of
more
tease.
active lately.
Yeah,
I love it.
I do too. Like, just give us something because we here's where
We're
like going back to what
Yep.
Mike told you, Drew. Hi, Mike, our only listener. It's safe, the Model Y, and I understand. Like, for once in the company's history, let's just take a breather and let's perfect this thing. Now that we're finally afloat, let's work on the Model Y. They're
profitable.
Yeah. For once, everything's great. Let's just take a breather. Not every single day or every quarter has to be this stock fluctuating news. It
They're
can just
out
be
of
relaxed.
production hell. And
Yeah.
they're trying to live it up.
Yeah.
They're like, well, if we start Cybertruck, we have to get back into production
Exactly.
hell again. So
Yeah. Like it's so much like no, Austin is
They're
gonna.
tired.
Yeah. We just need a break. And you know what? By
give
God,
us a minute here.
Yeah. By God, they deserve a break. Now, breaks don't move everything forward, but like they are human. Like let them enjoy the fruits of their labor for just a little bit. At Austin, at Fremont, I get it, but we all know the elephant in the room, the Cybertruck in the room. We are all waiting, and they know we're waiting. And I think they should take advantage of that hype in a way that's not just an earnings call. Here you go, like finesse me a little bit, wine and swooze me, flirt with me a little bit more, and just hype it up because it's only promo. I'm not asking you to go into full. Just show me something. That's not going to take any stress off of your plate about the truck. Just hey, by the way. But I'm just being a fanboy right now.
No, they could
can tell.
upload a 720p video of someone with a smartphone in vertical walking around the Cybertruck, and I'm sure it would get 10 million views, and there would be 18 articles
for years.
Oh yeah, like just seeing Teslarati reports on Cybertruck, anything remotely like. Someone made a car that looks kind of like a Cybertruck. It isn't, 10-page article. So, like, I think they could really get away with any type of attention. I'm with you there. I want a redone event, even like just one that can stay up and be public. Maybe one with pre-recorded durability tests instead of on the spot durability
Less
tests. Just to
cursing
be
this
like,
time around.
yeah, less
that'd be
cursing,
nice.
not no cursing, but less.
Yeah, not no, just less. Oh my God.
I want him to curse a little bit, but yeah, I think that the Cybertruck excites us the most because it's probably very much targeted at an American demographic by far, and Model Y has taken full priority because it's pretty universal. Like it's a good, it's going to be a bestseller in China. It does well here.
Yeah.
It's going to do well in Berlin.
Yeah.
So the Model Y can apply to so many different demographics and get so much attention because it's I think we've talked about it. Like it's the best of all Teslas basically put together. Like they got the affordability, they've got the functionality, they've got the
Cybertruck,
the cargo space, and Cybertruck is amazing for the U.S. demographic because we're really into pickup trucks and we have pretty big roads and we like that exterior look and everything.
Californian.
And outside of the U.S., there's some excitement for it, but everyone's like, that's going to take up 2 lanes on my street. So I'm not as interested. And for them, it's several years away, whereas us, it's potentially 1 year away or around a year away. So I think that's why it's captivated our attention pretty greatly, but not so much outside of the U.S. And that's probably why the Cybertruck won't outsell the Model Y. I think the Y will, just for the sake of factories being on 3 continents now that are all going to be producing the same car, that's going to make it the best seller. Whereas Cybertruck is definitely more targeted at a specific demographic that I think we're all in, but not as global.
I'll be honest though,
So
I am just as hype, not because of Cybertruck, but also because of Cybertruck, but because of something new. You would see me getting this jazzed the moment they start teasing like an RV or something, a van. Like, I'm gonna get hyped up about
anything that looks different, really.
something new.
Drew's just bored.
I genuinely appreciate the success of the Y, but the consumer in me is like, I want more. My dopamine hit is gone. I want more.
Yep.
Yeah, you got the dopamine hit, and the Model Y is very similar to the 3, so it's very difficult to kind of get pumped when you're in it or around it, because you're just like, okay, yeah, it's kind of like this, and it's feels like a tweaked 3, really, because that's what it is. So it makes sense as to why that doesn't hit your dopamine just right,
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Yeah.
Cybertruck's probably the most different vehicle we're ever going to see compared to the standard. So if you're enjoying this rush, enjoy it now, because it's probably never going to be a moment like it again.
Which is why I'm like, give me little drips of dopamine. Show me something. Show me the ATV that came with it. Just show me something.
Oh yeah.
Give me my Cyberdyne
we
system.
are very bored right now in April. Can you guys tell?
I'm really pumped for the S and X, honestly, and the FSD beta.
That's
like
almost
those are
more
more
exciting.
recent. Those are more close by things that I'm really pumped for, and I'm very shocked we haven't had any S deliveries yet. I'm confused as to why it's taking so long, but as soon as one can be test driven, I'm going to test drive it. I can't wait to play around with it. So that's a big update. I'm excited for.
Yeah.
But
I'm
at
more
the very
excited about
beginning, I mentioned
FSD
a
than I
million-
am anything else. I just don't express my excitement because I'm more disappointed every day. I sit in my car and I go look for the button.
It's not there. I think they can hit 1 million, though. I think it's possible without the Cybertruck. Like, no Cybertruck deliveries, but they could still hit 1 million.
It would be close. 800 to 900 is my guess.
That's a safe guess. I mean, if Tesla did exactly the same as they did this quarter for the rest of the year, they would be around 750. So, saying 800 to
Do you
900.
remember what
is-
happened last year, Drew?
No.
COVID?
What happened?
COVID.
What?
Right.
What?
You know, just
Sorry.
all of the
You
world
cut
kinda
out there.
fell
I didn't
apart.
hear you.
I know, right?
And do you remember what Tesla did?
Yeah, Tesla almost made their goal. But
Tesla made me a very rich boy.
that is very true. And yeah, but like also I'm learning to not just take tomorrow for granted. So I will be more conservative and say 800 to 900.
You be conservative, but
Why?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say,
Can I be more
with
libertarian?
Shanghai ramp and Berlin, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I think it's possible. I'm not saying they'll vastly surpass 1 million, but I think they'll just touch it enough to
Okay.
say that they doubled deliveries within
No, Drew.
1 year.
I hate seeing you get let down every time. I do.
I was not always. The Model S refresh was more than I was hoping for. I went back and saw that wish list video I did for the refresh S, and it was almost as if Elon watched that exact video. I was like, in fact, I recall a lot of people saying Tesla would not hit guidance last year because
Yeah.
of COVID.
I do remember
And
that
they
this
did.
time last year.
Well, this time last year,
They did it.
people were fighting over toilet paper for some reason.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
That was a fun time.
Wow, Model Y was.
Are you okay there, Randy?
Sorry.
I don't think Randy's got over it.
Something's weird, guys.
He
Like,
got a bug.
I think.
You coughing out coins there, man? Are you coughing out money?
Oh yeah, it's Saturday when we're recording this. Make your stock predictions for Monday as this
Yes.
goes up. I want to date this episode as much as possible. Do you think it'll go up on Monday?
Yes.
How much are we at now?
We are at
I don't know.
658.
I'm just saying up or down.
We're at 658. We will go up. Up.
All right.
We're gonna open green, baby. Open green. And
I would assume beating expectations on deliveries would be a green, but a lot of the time the market does not react to good Tesla news.
Market, not the day of or the day afterwards, but within that week, so it's weird. It's weird how that works. Every time good news is dropped, everything drops. Like,
I remember after Battery Day, the stock going down. I was like, does no one get it? Like,
that was cool.
We're going to half the price of per kilowatt hour, and we're going to make $25,000 cars in 3 years. Everyone's like, I'm out.
Nah.
Who cares?
SpongeBob. All right, I'm gonna get out of here.
I think Stephen Mark Ryan said something that made me laugh. He said that because they didn't say the words million mile battery and have confetti and strippers holding signs. I was like, that's funny because that's probably something Tesla would do too.
Honestly, yeah. I could see Elon.
Just like a fireworks show. Elon comes out with no shirt on and he's just holding a sign that says million mile. Yeah, yes. But he's wearing the cyber shoes and he has his brother's cowboy hat, has a sign with neon lights saying million mile battery.
It's the third member of Daft Punk.
And he's just dancing around. We figured out the million mile battery. Oh my gosh. That's what people were expecting, and because it was a presentation about cathodes
Instead,
and anodes,
all you got was
like,
people honking their horns.
Right. Yeah, but it was still a big event. It surpassed my expectations.
It is going to like right now. People, the thing is, I think the fandom is kind of stupid. Like they're dumb. They don't understand.
There's a lot of stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the prevalence, how important that information was last year, they're not going to realize it until, until
it happens.
Until it's going to age so well, but people just don't realize it yet. They're just like, boo! What's this cell-looking thing? Boo! What's this? Boo this man! Boo!
What's this cell-looking thing? I thought they had unveiled they were going to unveil some type of alien technology.
Yeah,
a million miles in one charge.
Well,
no, guys.
That's still lithium. Boo!
I remember being shocked they said they were going to half the price per kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to go down like 30% maybe, but when they said like half, and then that they would have a 25K car, I was not expecting them to go that route. I was just like, oh dang, it was a big day.
It was a big day.
That's I think going to be looked at as a turning point in EV history when it comes to like affordability and batteries becoming cheaper and changing the standard of what EVs can be. It's like they're going to look back to that of like that's when it all changed, and yet everyone was like, I don't know what that is. That's weird.
It's the red letter day in history.
They're just looking for that that next. It's because the Cybertruck thing I think became so meme worthy that they're looking for that next hit, pun intended. But
do you guys think we're like too like Tesla almost in a position where they can't one up themselves after the Cybertruck? Like it's been this whole like progression from Roadster to Model S to Model X to Model 3, Model Y, Cybertruck. Are they gonna fizzle out maybe? I know they're never gonna go away or whatever, but is the hype gonna fizzle out for them a little bit because we've all gotten so excited about these products and they're so good that at some point they're not going to be able to continue that pace? Are we going to have the iPhone 11 to 12 Pro of cars?
Do you want to take that one first, Randy? I have thoughts, but you're the owner. You okay?
Nope, no thoughts there. All right.
No, I don't. I don't want to take it first.
Won't.
I want to hear what Drew has to say.
All right. I don't think the hype will die out because right now, I would say a lot of the reason the EV community or Tesla in general isn't as commonplace as Apple or smartphones is because of the lack of affordability. It's improved and it's gotten a lot better, in the last 10 years even, just 10 years ago, the Model S wasn't out.
Yeah.
And the cheapest 200-mile range EV you could get was like the Roadster at like 150 or 200, however much it was.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was six figures. And since then, we've seen range substantially get better. We've seen price get way better, but we're still not done. There's still a long... I think there's going to be a point where EVs start to become price equivalent, and then I even think that it'll start to surpass that because there's less parts entirely than a combustion engine. And with scale, with batteries getting built at extreme rates and EV companies wanting more market share, they'll eventually get to a point where you can make an EV cheaper than a new gas car. And that's when the interest in Tesla or the interest in EVs is going to grow to a much wider audience. That when Tesla does diversify, right now they don't diversify much because it's all a battery supply issue, not a demand issue, which is what diversifying is usually for, trying to come up with cars that fit more needs. That's probably going to happen once battery production is ironed out, and that's when you can get Cyber SUV or Cyber car, and they diversify on that lineup, which can get people really excited or pumped. Or that's when they start working on more solar versions of different vehicles that have wings that come out, and they can make them more complicated and go into things that really shouldn't be the priority right now because the main issue is batteries. But once you get past that, once you start seeing the $25,000 car, or once you see them start achieving level 3 autonomy or eventually level 4 autonomy, that's when it no longer becomes FSD, oh boy, the eye-rolling procedure of like, oh, there they go again talking about FSD. I still think it'll happen. I just don't think it'll happen on Elon's timeline. But once it does start happening, it's going to be an eye-opening like hype moment of, there's an update, now we can fall asleep in the car and it'll drive us around. We can't do that today, but that's why it's so exciting, is because there's so much potential built up here, and the Cybertruck is a big piece of it. But I don't think it's the end. I don't think they've peaked out, and I think all the things you can imagine, knowing how competitive and how diverse the automotive industry is, you're gonna get your Tesla RVs, you're gonna get your Tesla van with all your customizations, and you're gonna get your knockoff brands that make something cheaper or more versatile or more upgradable, and your Apteras of the world that are like, let's make the most efficient vehicle possible and make it recharge just from the sun. And I think that there's so much like yet to happen that's going to be big game-changing deals, that Cybertruck is just one of many chapters to come.
What do you think, Randy?
I agree because of the Apteras, the Rivians. I agree in the sense that like we are, what I've been at least kind of in this sense of automobiles and technology, we're in this renaissance of just like exploring new approaches to things, and we're in the experimental phase of everything. Yeah, we're trying things out, and things are gonna work and things are gonna fail, and some things are not even gonna come to fruition. Like Michelob. So
Right.
like but I think the fact that with Tesla pioneering the way and being the first major success in this bracket has inspired copycats, has inspired competition, and I think in many ways on a energy level, not even a design level, but on an energy level, is inspired innovation, which then translates to design level, which is why I think we're not done seeing the next, Cybertruck. Cybertruck was cool for what it is, but then you had Rivian come out and do the polar opposite of like, no, let me give you something that you're visually used to seeing, and something that, because there's a market for that too. And I do like, I obviously I'm very biased in Team Tesla, but I appreciate and I do get hyped for these other smaller EV companies like Rivian doing something that is also familiar. There's innovation in doing something that is familiar too. And I feel especially because I think Rivian's going to be coming out way sooner than Cybertruck, I feel there's going to be so much more hype coming around, not just a Cybertruck, not just a Rivian, not just we're going to see this explosion of new things coming out the way we saw it in the early 1900s when everybody was trying out these. Remember, like in the 1950s when they had open floor.
No, I wasn't there.
Well, you've seen the photos, I would hope. Like the open floor seating in a car where everybody just kind of like faced inwards inside. Like, people were experimenting. We're gonna see that again, but now on a technical level, and with that, design changes will come with it, which means we are going to be challenged the way we were challenged with Cybertruck. We're going to be challenged with the way that we're used to something being the norm because of it worked back then, and that was just legacy automakers, sticking with what they knew because it was working. They were selling, they were doing just fine for what it was. And then somebody like a disruptor like Tesla comes in and says, boom, something new. And now everything post Tesla, Rivian, and like they're all going to do there's more of that. So it was like smartphones, before iPhone with the tactile clicking,
right.
iPhone, smartphones afterwards. We're going to hit that pinnacle now, which means we're gonna be challenged. And I think the excitement of not knowing what's about to happen within itself is exciting, and I can't wait to see. So in that sense, I don't think we're done. It's just I can't really anticipate anymore because I think of how the people are going to start experimenting with a lot of things, and it's a very vibrant market right now for everybody who's trying to be like the next thing. Because now you have to distinguish yourself. You're going against iPhone. You're going against Bitcoin. You have to explain why you're different from Tesla. You have to explain why your product is different because everything's going to be compared to a Tesla vehicle. Now your job as the next vehicle is why? What makes you different? What makes you unique? Not what makes you better, because
or better.
I don't think better is going to happen. I think not for a while, because I think our infrastructure in place is too stable, But anyway.
Interesting. How about you, Nick?
So,
do you think we've peaked?
I think we have peaked. It peaked in excitement. All right. I don't think that we're gonna be bored with Tesla necessarily. My question was specifically about the hype around a product, not necessarily the amazingness of the product objectively. I think that we have many, many years of many, many more interesting product categories, different updates to different stuff, new battery technology. I think there's going to be plenty of interesting upgrades with Tesla, but part of me still kind of wonders if this is peak excitement. Like, think iPhone 4 with the bar leak. Like, they found that iPhone in a bar. Like, I think that was like a point in Apple's history where hype had gotten out of hand, I guess, like to the point where Apple couldn't control the narrative anymore. And obviously Tesla isn't like Apple, but I think that Cybertruck specifically, but also the hype around the Model Y and the updated S and X has provided this community a lot of excitement and a lot of energy. I am always really excited to hear the latest theories, the latest updates on any piece of news regarding Tesla. But I kind of wonder if in 3 or 4 years, the average person will be quite as excited about it. I know people are going to be even more aware of the Tesla brand because we're going to be hitting those million cars a year. We're going to be hitting all of the production, but it's going to become more of a, are you excited about Toyota's new 2025, whatever it's called? Probably not quite as excited as we are about the Cybertruck right now.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is, definitely
whatever
not.
Toyota does, I'm not excited. But
yeah,
I mean, in that regard, I'd say it's very, very subjective. Highly depends on the person. Like, in my opinion, I followed the whole iPhone 4 bar leak thing, and I didn't find that as exciting or as interesting as the iPhone 10 leaks leading up. Like, that was, to me, like the biggest iPhone upgrade ever. The 4 was like, oh, cool, it looks different from the sides. But the 10 was like, oh, they're ditching this, they're ditching this, they're adopting this, they're adopting this. And I think it's going to depend on the person, obviously. If the Cybertruck which I think it's fair to say for many of us is like dream vehicle territory.
Yes.
There's probably not ever going to be a vehicle better than that.
The singularity of vehicles.
Yeah, it's the singularity. It's like it does everything I want. It's got all the utility, all the practicality, all the durability, and all the range. So that's, like you said, it's your last vehicle. So if that's the way you look at the Cybertruck, then yeah, for you, I would say absolutely. You're never going to get as hyped or as excited for another vehicle because you've picked your last one. So it makes sense to me why any type of upcoming release would be less exciting. But I would just as well argue that there's a lot of people out there who don't really care much about the Cybertruck, but would be very, very interested in the $25,000 Tesla because they like the tech. They like being able to charge from home or supercharge, and they like the autonomy. But it's still like a $40,000 purchase right now, and they can't really swing that. And if it became sub 30 and it becomes more obtainable, or someday hopefully less than 25, then yeah, that would get them excited because now they feel like, okay, I can justify that. I can get into the Teslas now, and before I couldn't. So to them, that could be their last car. That could be their last big purchase because they're like going to buy it once and be like, this is all the car I've ever needed. So it basically all comes down to the type of person you are, what piques your excitement or what piques your hype the most. Like personally, I am super duper excited for the Cybertruck, but also super duper excited to see affordable Tesla or level 3, level 4 autonomy would be a game changer for me. And as a content creator, I just love following those stories and finding out what's going to happen next. So to me, it sounds like the best is yet to come because we haven't really hit that S-curve adoption yet where EVs get so cheap that it starts to become just financially irresponsible to become a gas car. To me, that's when it gets really interesting because you'll stop pointing out Model 3s or Model Ys on the road, and instead it'll just become commonplace. And
hey, look,
maybe you'll
there
start
goes the
pointing
Toyota.
out,
remember when Ford was in business?
Right. No, remember? No, someone still has a combustion engine. What the heck? You know, that I want to get to that point where it's like just roads look different in general. Just
I want to get to the point
and
that I judge people the same way I judge, like, wow, that guy is unironically driving a Hummer.
I still look at that sometimes. I saw one the other day. I was like,
You're driving an H2. To start the engine, you already went through a quarter of your tank.
yeah. The gas tank is just a washcloth, I think. The gas just pours right out the bottom. It's a big slush all the way down. So I think it's possible you, Nick, have peaked in hype.
All right. Well, that's fair. Yeah.
So
that's because
maybe
you really love that
Cybertruck
Cybertruck too.
Yeah,
you do. But
and yeah, you're right.
That's why that
objectively a
probably
$25,000 Model 2 would be pretty exciting. And yeah, so maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just found my dream car.
That's a good thing.
Or to me, more cyber lineup in general. If they came out with a
cyber van,
car,
okay, that might
cyber van,
cyber van tiny home conversion. Ooh,
dude,
that might tempt me away from the Cybertruck. Oh boy,
cyber roadster.
Cyber roads. Oh, the DeLorean.
I love, there's all kinds of crazy things they could do. Yeah, like a all electric DeLorean would be dope.
That would be really cool to see.
Especially if it could supercharge.
Yeah.
Ooh, totally.
And they'd only be selling electric DeLoreans, so they would qualify based on last week's requirements.
I got a lot of comments on the podcast last week. People were like, "Oh, that's a good idea." So I think we were on to something.
Sense. They better listen to us.
Listen.
The only issue I could imagine with it is the day when, like, suddenly Nissan stops doing gas cars, and there's like this giant wave of electric vehicles that now can suddenly qualify.
No.
Tesla would have to be like
new electric vehicles. Like, it's not backwards compatible. Like if Nissan decided, oh yeah, we're not going to make any other gas cars. The 2016 Leaf isn't going to supercharge. It doesn't have the hardware.
Okay, that's a good way to sidestep it.
That's a good way for us to still be snooty about it.
That means snooty? That Ford's
the people with
will...
neck collar ties and not snooty at all.
So Ford will never get to the point where all their vehicles can supercharge, even if they canceled all their gas cars.
No. Ew! Don't panhandle to me. Disgusting. That's
their
what it
new
feels like
their
I'm
new
doing.
electric cars would, like, after whatever date they got rid of the last gas car. Any electric car after that could supercharge.
Oh,
Made
well,
after that.
God, we'll
okay,
be,
that might
we'll
work.
be
There would still probably
6
be a large
feet
number,
dead
but
underground before that happens.
really, I think it's
This can be arranged,
2
Randy.
decades away
2 decades from what?
Until I die.
from now. No,
Wow.
until Ford isn't making combustion
Oh.
engine vehicles. That's my timeline prediction.
2040. Okay.
2040, sure. I won't count this year. Say the next 19
No,
years.
don't count last year. Is what you should do.
No.
Last year didn't count. We all got to do over.
Wait,
This-
2019 and then 2021. That's what happened.
20. No, this is the. Yeah, God, I'm so scared to say the word 2020. Ugh.
Giving everyone
Flashbacks.
PTSD here. Yikes. Sorry, guys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Anyway, I think maybe 2 decades. Listen, if you don't got your stuff figured out within 2 decades, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. That is.
You're probably bankrupt.
Yeah, that's ample time. Even the government would like, no, nothing's that slow. 2 decades is.
Nothing's that slow.
Yeah.
I think most of the
SLS.
automotive fleet will be electric by the end of this decade.
I concur.
Yeah,
most of
I think
them.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Not completely all, but a pretty large number.
What kind of an
Like-
electric, though? Like,
What do you mean?
the Mach-E, you know, is kind of expensive. They're putting, what, 100 kilowatt-hour pack in to hit the
Some
same
of 'em.
range.
Yeah.
Especially with the Porsche Taycan. Like, I think that these EVs are not going to be necessarily good EVs. These are going to be EVs that the manufacturers are making because customers and the governments are demanding them, not because they figured out how to make a good EV, you know? Like, Tesla's figured out how to make good EVs, but Ford hasn't really yet. Like, they made an EV that seems to be selling a couple thousand units here and there, but
Well, they're still limited by production because
oh sure,
I doubt
that's
it's very
what
profitable.
everyone says. Yeah.
But no, I mean that's they confirmed they aren't making an infinite amount. They like intentionally said we're only going to make this many at
Yeah.
first and then see how we feel about it in the future. So I feel like it won't just be we're making EVs because we have to. It's gonna become abundantly clear in the next few years that if you're still developing combustion engine cars, you're going to get left behind because the battery costs will drop. Other people are going to follow Tesla's lead on battery production, and then they're going to be able to offer lower batteries to third-party legacy automakers. And Ford already has said they want to unveil a electric F-150 this year, I think, and ship it next year and that kind of thing. And though it's already at this point, I'm seeing Volkswagen talk about it, or Volkswagen.
Volkswagen?
That's what it almost was. I
rolled my
really
eyes
botched
audibly.
April
I
Fool's
audibly
Day.
rolled my eyes when I saw that headline.
I was surprised there were people believing it or
Yeah.
following through with it. They were like, "Oh, that's interesting." I was like, "No way, that's not happening." But I think that probably mid this decade, it's going to become so cheap to build certain EVs with decent range that's going to be like, "Oh man, if we don't start transitioning our whole lineup over to electric, then we're going to be bankrupt, or no one's going to want our cars in the future." So that's going to make them more ambitious to transition by the end of this decade, and then have a few models that still have it around maybe by 2030, but probably 2035 even. I could see them, a lot of legacy autos just completely giving up on it, and or they went bankrupt defending it, that kind of thing. They were like,
Yeah,
they
could see
stood
that.
by it. No, we want to keep combustion engine. And everyone's
Which
like, bye.
manufacturer do you think is going to be the Samsung in the group and hang on to the headphone jack? Who's not going to make the switch? Who's going to be the last to make the switch?
Toyota.
Toyota.
No, Toyota.
They still haven't done an all electric
Really?
vehicle. They are holding on to that Prius, and
Yeah.
they've announced that they're going to do these all electric crossovers, but they haven't delivered them yet. I mean, Ford is ahead of them in terms of all
That's
electric,
saying something.
and GM.
That is saying
And GM too. GM has the Bolt,
The Bolt,
and
the Bolt.
they've got the Hummer coming, and so it's, to me, I think I saw recently the head of Toyota still say something like Well, because Toyota's still doing a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle right now. If you're still doing hydrogen and you haven't figured out how that's not going to work yet, then that's the company to me that I see as like you've completely missed the point. Like you're behind. So Toyota's going to be that brand that's like, but our Prius though, still good mileage. You can use them at gas stations and stuff. That's who I could see it being. Maybe Ford. That. They like some of their big trucks that maybe will be harder to switch over to electric. So
or the Mustang.
Or the Mustang. I'm kind of still confused why. Oh, I had a thought the other day as we were talking about Ford. My first car was a Ford Ranger, and I don't have it anymore because of its combustion engine failing on me. But why, if electric vehicles do like better range when they're smaller and less heavy, and the battery supply is the main issue with the Mach-E production and mass producing that and stuff, why don't they start with an all-electric Ranger instead of an F-150? Because then they could do like lower volume and probably be better at efficiency because the truck would be smaller and lighter. And just do like I don't know. I mean, Cybertruck's going for one demographic with this big, bulky, huge, powerful truck. If Ford kind of took it a different direction, almost more of a Rivian direction. I've heard like R1T is a bit smaller than the Cybertruck and smaller than the F-150, but still pretty practical and stuff. Like, I don't know. Would have made sense to me to start off with a Ranger. Can't think of a great reason not to.
The Ranger's a very popular vehicle. I know my. I don't even know how to draw the family comparison. Somebody within Brittany's side of the family is like a collector almost.
Wow.
Because he was such a fan, and he always makes it a point when we drive by. He's like, Ranger, like he'll point it out, and then he'll like he looks for them to see if they're for sale. And I was like, why? And long-winded answer. Yeah,
why?
Yeah, like, why? So like, the long-winded answer. Basically, like they are a desirable. Like it's not so much collectors, but like fan base. It has a very strong fan base. And
when it worked, I loved it.
Huh?
When it worked, I loved my Ranger.
I guess
it was.
See? There you go.
It was compact. It was pretty easy to park, but it had a pretty big bed, and I could drive. It had just as much space as I needed. I had a little space behind the seat. I could throw my backpack and my camera gear, and I would have little pizza parties with my friends in the bed.
They announced that they were bringing
there.
the Ranger back, and people were like legit excited about it.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool to see it come back. I don't really know exactly why they took it away. I'm guessing the F-150 sold better, but
Sure.
I still think that big giant pickups like the F-150 are overkill for a lot of people's needs, and just having a small little pickup for basic stuff is underrated. I feel like that market should be bigger than it is, but people just like big pickups, I guess. That's why I've expressed
or maybe it's not that they like it. Maybe because they took away the Ranger that was what they could default to. Whatever it is, evidently there is a demand for it, and it has a strong fan base. So imagine taking that almost, I wouldn't call them fanatics, but you take that desire and the passions for that, and you do make that an electric Ranger, an E-Ranger. E-Ranger.
Hey, that's a great name.
Yeah.
I liked
Ranger E.
The E-Ranger.
Mach-E.
Ranger Mach-E.
Yeah.
Mustang. Call everything that's electric a Mustang.
Please no.
That's how that works.
No.
Even though it is nothing like a Mustang, let's call it a Mustang because it's electric, and that means it's fast.
It's good.
I guess I can see the argument of like F-150 is their best seller, so they want to have an electric option in their best selling category, but I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the Hummer thing. Like, the Hummer was gone for a long time. And they're like, okay, let's bring it back as an electric, except the Hummer was stupid. This would be like the Ranger was beloved and cared for by many. So if you bring it back as an electric, you kind of convince some of the Ford fans, that foreign people who like that brand, of like, oh, okay, you can make a compelling EV and make it reasonably priced and have good performance. And okay, it's not huge, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll work our way up.
It's,
Take your time there.
You get there. Hang in there, champ.
as Ford asks me for advice, that would be what I tell them. Like, work your way up. You know, Cybertruck's going to have a market for a while, but it almost feels like it's not even F-150 competition. I know that's what they're going for, but
Yeah.
it feels like it's in such a different category that most of the people I know that have F-150s would probably not buy a Cybertruck out of just sheer differences. Just the fact that it's electric or just the fact that it looks different. They'll just be like, oh, no, too different. Too much change in one product. I can't take it. But all the people I know who love Cybertrucks are usually not big truck people in the first place. Some are, but you know,
Brittany's a big truck
they
person,
were usually
and she
yeah.
die hard. Like she, this is where she like. She tells me she's like, I'm more manly than you. You know, I wear the pants in the van because she's always wanted a truck, and I'm like, we're small. we don't look good in those things. She goes, no, maybe you don't look good, but like,
Ooh.
this is like, she's a big truck person, and
So is Mike's wife.
if she had it her way, we would have had a truck a long time ago, and now that I had her wait long enough to see the Cybertruck, and nope, that's it, that's the one. Because she's all about practicality, utility, and she was more excited about seeing the Cybertruck in person than me. Like she was just, you know, smiling so big, and it's an awesome feeling. One as like I guess a husband to, you know, see that, but it's an awesome feeling to see somebody like I would have the same happiness if Nick went to go see it, because I know how badly he wants that, you know, like seeing somebody see something that they love so much like that it's just yeah.
Has your moving plans changed anything with the Cybertruck, or is it all pretty much still the same plan?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. To go off of EV for just a second, we've established that we're not gonna immediately get out to Virginia and buy a house. We don't feel comfortable doing that. More so,
Okay.
more so her than me, because she's never been there. So she wants to see everything first. But our schedule does not allot us that much time to get familiar with the area, then house hunt. We have there's a quick turnaround. So we're looking at doing a sub-year leasing of some capacity, whether it's a house or an apartment or something, but just so we can get our bearings about the area for the next 3 years, and then dictating on that. If we buy a house, I don't see anything changing. I expect we're going to get a house, or I'm anticipating I'm not expecting anything, but I'm anticipating that we will be getting a house. So if all that comes to fruition, I don't see the plans changing of buying a Cybertruck. If something changes in that, whether we stay in an apartment complex or we're renting a house, I just don't know, because now it comes to the point of we have 3 vehicles, and most places won't, you know, allot for 3 vehicles.
Even
like
2 are hard sometimes in some places.
2 are hard sometimes. So there's things that we have to account for. More of a reason why, like, I just want to get a house and be done with it. But on a non-EV conversation with it, it's more that I don't know if it's smart for us to buy a house if we're not going to stay there even 5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these are decisions that we have to, and the sell market. It's not California. It's not San Diego. These houses do not sell as quickly as they would down here. People will snatch them up down here pretty quick. Virginia is not a desirable spot the same way it would be in Southern California. So all that is going to kind of decide what we do with the Cybertruck. But if all rules are off and we get in a very fortunate situation where we're renting a house that's big enough accommodations for anything in vehicles and stuff like that, I don't see why we wouldn't have a Cybertruck by the time
So is parking and storage the main concern?
Parking, not so much, because East Coast living, they don't really believe in garages. So Everything's outside. Or a carport of some capacity, not really garage. And in turn, especially in that area of Virginia, there's a lot of open land where you can put your car pretty much anywhere on your property, and no one's really going to say anything. So I don't think parking necessarily.
No, sounds like here.
Yeah. It's very much like you could put it wherever. But
put the car on your house, just throw it around.
Whatever you got.
Throw it over there. Throw it on the lawn.
That's your piece of square. Whatever you do, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just pay your taxes. So I don't see storage being, or I don't see parking as an issue if we are even renting a house. Storage would be another thing, but the thing is that how are we going to charge if we get an apartment? Like one thing I'm trying to figure out is like, how am I going to charge my car? I could take it to a charging station, but I don't want to. I like charging from home. So these are logistics that we're considering. These are logistics that even Brittany has agreed that are deal breakers and deciding factors in regards to where we're going to be living now. It has to accommodate my car, and I told her like that's where we can't compromise, and she goes, I agree. So what accommodates my car would also have to accommodate for a future Cybertruck. So that's where we're at right now. I don't have that was a long answer.
That's a big accommodation.
Yeah. That's a long answer to say I don't know, but this is our thought process. We want to get it, but if we are not in a position to where we can, our living situation obviously is going to override our desire to own a Cybertruck. But we will do everything we can within our power to still be in range of getting the Cybertruck first chance we get. That is our goal.
Exciting.
Hopefully, it's. My guess is less than a year from now. That's my prediction. Actually, we put dates. Oh, where are they?
Did you write them down?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, we did. We put them in the calendar for when we thought. I don't know if I got your guys's, but I know I have Mike's and mine and Louise's, which was funny. I think mine was March.
2021?
No, next year.
Okay.
Not this year.
Okay.
That would be way too late.
What?
Oh, I can't find. It was the wrong calendar on the. Right. Yeah, I was saying somewhere in March. I think Louise guessed her birthday, February 6th of next year, and Mike, I believe, said somewhere in January. He was expecting like mid-January first deliveries to begin. So there will probably be a big gap between when first deliveries begin and when you guys could qualify to pick it up. So might end up being longer than a year, but still crazy to think that more than likely next year for sure is kind of exciting considering we're one quarter through already.
That's
all
crazy
the way
to say out
into
loud.
April. Yeah. I remember watching that Unveil event and seeing 2021 thinking it's so far. But
far away.
Here we are.
Here we are.
It happened.
It's crazy what a pandemic can do to you.
Skip right past a year.
I like I'm excited for Rivian. I wish Cybertruck would be more like the Rivian in regards to their marketing of just driving it around and doing road testing and keeping people up to date on that. That's the kind of coverage I want to see.
Yeah.
Where they just like take the Cybertruck out in the desert and just drive it around like crazy, or loan it to people who do some documentary series who just drive it across a continent or something like that. Like, it'd be so interesting.
I'd like to see that, but I almost think that it isn't really something Tesla needs to do, right? Like Rivian is attempting to get any attention that it can right now. They are, kind of an upstart. Most people don't really know about Rivian. Most people know about Tesla already. So Rivian is, trying to get publicity wherever it can, and Tesla really doesn't need that. And in fact, it probably doesn't want to put a lot of focus on the Tesla because due to the favorite effect that Drew likes to mention, which shall remain nameless in this sentence, it may reduce the sales of current EVs if people realize how amazing the Cybertruck is. And so I would wonder if Tesla just, because they moved it off it used to be front and center on the website, not front and center, but like in the top scrolly bar, like Cybertruck was one of the ones, but they moved it underneath a little hamburger menu now, and it's kind of halfway down the hamburger menu. It's like they're not hiding it, but it's just not out there. And I kind of wonder, as they're getting ready to produce this in scale, maybe then they'll do those road testing trips. And just like with the Model Y, when it was, we saw, just about every day we'd see a Model Y in some other part of the country in a different color doing some kind of road testing. It will definitely get to that point, but I think Rivian's a little further along than the Cybertruck is honestly in development, because they have multiple prototypes going around. Like, heck, Mike said he saw one the other day. Not 100% sure if that was an April Fool's joke, because he said that on April Fool's. But
no, he sees a lot. I mean, he's on a stretch of road right next to Rivian's offices and also close to Lucid's offices. So he's seen the Lucid drive by and the Rivian. Oh, wow. So yeah, he's on a good little highway there where all the prototyping goes. So you're right. They don't need it at all. I don't think they need more hype. I'm just out of curiosity, because Tesla could say nothing, tweet nothing, show nothing about the Cybertruck for probably the remainder of the time before deliveries and be fine. That event they had in 2019
that cracked windows
plenty.
Was all they needed.
Yep.
They are good on demand. That's been abundantly clear. But I want to see more, just out of excitement and to remind people that it exists and it's not vaporware, just to shut up the haters, to show them it working and it driving around.
Yeah.
Just be exciting as a fan.
Are you still experiencing haters? I all my haters went quiet after last year.
Oh, your haters?
Yeah.
That's because you haven't posted.
It's because you haven't uploaded it.
No. I'm talking about people I actually know.
More.
I didn't get haters like that online. I'm talking about all the hate that I got from Cybertruck.
I never knew people in my personal life that hated it. I just knew people who didn't know about it.
No, everybody that hated Cybertruck and was ragging on me
was banned from your life.
Are banned from my life, and that's why they're not my friends anymore. Except
Good.
Carter. Carter, I can't get rid of.
I don't go outside, but I remember showing the Cybertruck to my grandpa, because he drives a lot of pickups and they have huge trucks that move the trailers around. So I was just curious what he thought, and he thought it was really cool. So I was like, I just said, it looks very weird, I know. And he was like, oh, it's all steel. That'd be good, because his truck was being borrowed by someone and got into an accident. So his car was totaled, but it still drove. So he still uses it and drives it around today, but it's just completely thrashed on the side with all these dents and scratches. And I was like, see, if you had an exoskeleton like this, I bet there would be hardly any paint scratches or hardly any dents.
Your car wouldn't have a scratch. The other guy would be dead.
Probably something like that. But yeah, I haven't met someone in person that just thought it was stupid and terrible. Like, I showed it to my uncle too. He's like, "Whoa, that's so weird. Why did he kept asking why?" That was his main question. He didn't hate it. He was just like, "Why did they do that?" And I was like, "They wanted to be durable." And he was like,
over 10 people. I can't even
go.
count on two hands. Over 10 people told me that it's stupid, it's ridiculous, and they were hating on it so hard. And I'm just like, you just wait and see.
You just wait.
You just wait and see. You don't know. You're dumb.
I feel like the Rivian fan base is basically just getting a lot to munch on. That's the way I see it. Is like the media and the press gives us something to literally feed. That's why we call it our home feed. That's our food that comes out that we eat off. Like, ooh, that's exciting. Ooh, I can't wait. And the Rivian people are like, here's some new wraps. Here's a new service option we're coming up with. Here's a new this, and here's a new design. Here's the CEO laying down in the back showing you how spacious it is on the inside. And the Cybertruck's like, we'll think about giving you an update next quarter maybe. And then you get there and they're like, next quarter. Maybe. You just wait. You just sit there and eat your slop when we give it to you.
And then you say thank you when I do.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
You
just
buy
sit
my
there and eat your
shares.
slop, and you buy my shares.
Just eat it.
And then you say thank you when you buy it from me.
Like, the Tesla Twitter account was like quiet for months and months. They only recently just started being active about it again. And all of our Cybertruck news were limited to Elon reply tweets. Oh yeah, did we talk about not having door handles? How did you guys feel on that?
I need to see how this happens. I don't know.
What's your preferred? Would you rather it not change and just look like the prototype door handles, or would you rather it be another attempt? If Elon is now saying it won't have door handles, what would be a worthy alternative?
I trust my Lord and Savior Elon Musk.
Well, that's why you're I almost said a bad word. You're screwed.
You have to pry it open with your fingernails every time.
That sounds fine to me. Whatever Elon wants to do, I will do it.
Actually, you just roll the window down and crawl in.
Hey, wouldn't mind that. It's still a Cybertruck.
I would prefer door handles.
Okay.
You're fine with the Model S style, just they come out and then they go back in.
Yeah, I have situations where like I'm right here in the office and say Brittany wants to go, she needs to get something out of the car. Can you unlock the car for me? Boop boop. And it's done, and then she could just open the thing. If it does not, if it needs to sense my phone or my key.
No. It would still have a button.
Oh. No, I was thinking Model X.
Model X, you can just get in without the key.
I was thinking Model X. Oh. No, a button? Oh, no, I don't. Whatever.
Yeah, Model X
No,
is just
I
a
was-
touchpad.
Well, I was hearing what Randy was saying, but I was going to say what you were saying was making it sound like the Model S door handle approach like the prototype had would be a bad idea, because if Brittany wants to get in and is texting you to open the door, she could like keep her hand right near the door handle.
Mm-hmm.
On the Cybertruck, if it was locked, there would be nothing for her to grab. It would just be flush with the door, and she would be like, Randy, open it, and then it would have to come out, and then she would open it. Whereas on the 3, she can just keep her thumb right there and pull it as soon as it opens up. But
Yeah.
I mean, if any of it requires my input to unlock it, which that does happen, the most seamless one would be the Model X style. So
you just so there's like a little cutout that you push on.
then if it's like a button or whatever, I thought it was proximity. So no, then it doesn't matter.
I want my cake and I want to eat it too. So this is what I want to have happen. I really like the Model 3 and Model Y handles because they're very simple. You know, really not much can go wrong. You know,
They can't pinch your fingers.
Yeah, okay, sure, but like also Model
If you
S
tried
could
to lock
eat your
the
entire
door-
hand if you wanted to, right?
That's what I'm saying. I don't like that. I don't like the
Yeah,
push-out door
exactly.
handles, which is why I was excited to find out the Cybertruck didn't. Because I did.
Yeah.
I looked at. I don't know if you guys have looked them up, but if you guys look up Cybertruck door handles, someone got a really up-close shot of it.
I saw
And
that.
to me,
Yep.
it looks very uncomfortable. Like it looks very sharp, and
It's a prototype.
The truck. It is a prototype, which I'm glad to hear that they're not going forward with that. But to me, like the truck looks way uglier when the door handles are pushed out. Like it looks kind of gross when it's like. But they have the giant shards of metal that you have to reach around.
It's gonna look pretty gross with side mirrors too.
Yeah.
Not if it's like Alwinart's. His looked good.
So with the Model X though, the problem with that one is they're kind of touch sensitive. So if you have like gloves on or whatever, or your hands are muddy or something, it might be a little difficult to open that up. And I think the Cybertruck needs to target that durability and the convenience at the same time. What I love about the Model X is they're self-presenting, right? The driver door self-presents. That's pretty cool. would like that in the Cybertruck if they could make that happen.
Yeah.
It might be too difficult, but if
I
they
don't
could
think it
have some kind of self-presenting tech along with the Model 3 / Y handle where it's more mechanical, I think that would be more durable for work-related stuff, but yet also having the convenience of self-presenting would be pretty nice. That would be my ultimate mixture. I'm not a huge fan of the retracting and the Model S style. I think that those just look like they're about to fall apart. Like I don't know, like it just they look clean.
The
but
idea of a
I don't
button
know.
or a proximity sensor, anything that's not electrical, like I'm in favor of less moving parts. So whether it's you just grab the handle like you do on the 3, or it's a sensor, or it's, there's some type of input like that, and it's not a moving part. I guess anything that's not a Model S, if in my scenario, like I said,
Just do anything but that.
just in my scenario, Randy, can you open the door? Boop boop. Done. And if it's as easy as you hit a little button, it opens. If you grab the handle, which everyone, even like watching my mom and dad try to, like when they first tried to get into the car, they struggled. But after the very first time, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a non-issue. The learning curve is a one-time thing. Getting out of the car was more problematic than getting in the car. He's like, no. The white line. Put your finger on the white line. I know it's an older model. White line. Push down, push out. Push down, push out.
Because they brought that up, I'm sure.
Yeah. No.
They were like, why doesn't yours have the icon of the car?
Because I didn't get that deep brand sticker. Gosh.
Right? Yeah. So getting out of the car is harder.
I don't think... it's actually interesting you brought that up. I think the 3Y style door handle doesn't make as much sense for auto present because they're kind of built in a way for you to pull.
Yeah.
They're kind of built for you to push in with the thumb and then...
go off proximity of your phone or something like that.
So they just... Well, the difference with the X is that you push the door button and it after you push it, it then can automatically open.
They couldn't make a Model 3 handle touch sensitive?
So it's just a J shape, but you push the whole thing in?
No.
Is that what you're saying? So, because to me, the process of the 3 and Y is getting to a pull position where you push in on one end and then you grip the other end. But if the door is going to open itself already, I don't need to be in a pull in. That's why the X doesn't pull out, is you push it and then it opens. Yep. But if you're having like 4 people walk to the car, it's not going to know that there's 4 people coming, so I need to open all 4 doors. That's why the auto present thing works in some circumstances.
This well, but it would have the complete functionality of both, right? The Model X, all you're doing is triggering a button, right? So we know we have keyboards with very little travel, so you can just push it in just a little bit, and it would trigger the auto present with your phone. But if you wanted to, you could push in if your hands were dirty or whatever. If it was more convenient for you to grab it, use your thumb and do the J thing. So it would be a J handle, flush with the thing, but it would just be a little bit pressure sensitive. So you can push it in a little bit and do the auto present, or default to the Model 3, Model Y. I think that's the best solution. We can get the best of both worlds.
I feel like you would have to push it at one part though, because like if you touch the skinny part of the 3 and Y door handle, it can't go in. So you'd have to redesign it to pivot and go in.
Trackpads.
Yeah, but you're not going to want to put haptic touch feedback things in each. I like the Mach-E approach. That's my go-to.
I don't like that at all. That thing looks ugly.
There's no cutout.
I'm dumping around the bush. I'm just like, I like Mach-E. There, I said it.
It doesn't make... You're just like combining, like it twists but also goes in simultaneously. Like, also the Cybertruck would look weird with the 3Y style. Imagine those J-shaped door handles on the Cybertruck.
I like how you guys call them J-shape. I always call them hockey pucks. Or not pucks,
hockey puck shape, yeah. I looked at I made an edit for the video thumbnail. The Cybertruck without door handles looks beautiful. I love that look. There's just no cutouts at all. No little button or thing. You just put it on the little black center column, and you just push on that, and it pushes itself out. And that, I thought it was really, really seamless when I tried the Mach-E. I was just like, oh, it's right there, and then the door opens, and you're good. And if the steel's supposed to be really hard and durable, I imagine adding more things that you have to cut out or pinch out that have to be flush. And then you also, if you guys remember when Franz hit the truck with the hammer, the door handle shook pretty violently. You could see it like
it's a prototype. Like they probably had the Scotch tape in there or something.
I know it's a prototype. I'm just saying, like, you don't need I'm glad they changed it. I was happy to find out that it doesn't have door handles. When he said that it didn't, I was like, good, thank you. I think it'll look better that way. Because the prototype pictures are like, I'm glad that's not coming out. Yeah. We'll never see that. It'll be that weird Cybertruck we reference years down. Remember that one that had the door handle?
Closing thoughts, guys?
Closing thoughts? Randy, I love your tie.
Thank you so much.
I guess you could say I'm not worried about the Cybertruck.
Oh.
Heresy!
Somehow.
Cybertruck must be worried. I worry about the Cybertruck even when I sleep. My dreams are nothing but the Cybertruck.
Of course.
Well,
Makes
gentlemen,
sense.
we look
Thank
spiffy
you all for
today.
Watching.
Thank you for coming to our annual shareholder meetings with Talos of Pog. Anyway.
That's right. Hopefully we get some Model S deliveries. Let's see it.
Please.
I want it to happen.
I want the yoke. Bye, guys.
Bye, all. Have a good week.